All right. So we're coming off of three matches. A week ago today, we played Western Kentucky. Eric had a great Eric in the house. He had a great article on lightning striking the Yum. It's the first time I've ever been there. So lights went out during a rally. We finished the rally, and then the coaches got together and we decided we should replay the point. We played the point in the dark, or I guess we played it in the emergency light. So that was Western Kentucky on Monday a week ago from today, and then we opened up ACC on Friday and Saturday with Boston College and Syracuse. Two teams that had racked up a ton of wins, had found a great way of winning and all of that, and then you get to conference play, and we didn't know what we'd see with them, and I thought we played really, really well against some pretty organized teams, and I was really, really pleased with our offense in particular. And then, like Nancy said, we're hitting the road out to California. The nice thing is Cal and Stanford were at Virginia and Virginia Tech this past weekend, so they're doing the same travel with us. They're just a couple days ahead of us. And then we'll play Cal at 7 o'clock their time, so 10 o'clock local here. And then 5 o'clock local on Sunday. We'll play Stanford.
Dan, would you talk about the challenges of the ACC and how you think it's shaping up at this point?
Well, Nancy just reminded me that, I didn't know this, but we're entering our 89th week of being ranked in the top 25. And when you bring up the ACC, when I got here in 2017, no team was ranked in the top 25. So no matter who you played, you couldn't crack the top 25 because you could never beat a top 25 team. Once conference started, we were kind of all beating up each other, and top 25 was elsewhere. Now we've got 4 or 5 teams in the top 10, multiple other teams in the top 25. So as the ACC goes, it's top-heavy like it's always been. When we added Stanford and SMU, those are 2 top 10 teams right now, and then obviously us and Pitt have risen to perennial top 5, top 10 teams. So the nice thing is, we feel like in preseason a couple games got away from us. We would have liked to pick off Texas or Kentucky or one of those top teams, but the nice thing about the ACC is you're going to get plenty of opportunities to do that. So we're really excited about it.
What are the challenges of going out west, and do you do anything? I mean, you guys have done the Stanford thing, I think, a couple different times. Do you do anything different with the team this week to prepare for the time change?
Yeah, we've tried everything. We've tried kind of changing our sleep schedule. We've tried practicing at different times during the week, and we found that just kind of sticking with our pattern and then adjusting when we get there is probably the best recipe. So for us, the way we enter this week won't be any different at home as far as their class schedules go. When we practice, we've tried, practicing later. Obviously, that Cal match on Friday is going to be 10 o'clock our time here. But we just found that sticking with our routine, and then when we get there, if they have to nap, if they have to kind of extend their game day routine, we've had our most success with that. But we've tried everything, and the more we try, the more we're chasing our tail, that we're just like, hey, we're going to stick with our routine, adjust as much as we need to on that actual game day, but let's just keep it as normal as possible. So there's definitely challenges with it, but you got to address that early in the week that, you could come up with any excuse you want, but we can't be there, and we got to attack the week like any other week. God, it's been a while since we made that trip. Honestly, it feels like the day that we leave is always the day that you finally get adjusted. And you're like, oh, I'm used to the time, and then you come back. And I think it kind of catches you when you come back this way. We'll come back and play those Virginias the week after. We've kind of already looked at, you have to have, in volleyball, you play 30 matches. You have to have a little bit of a long-term thinking of, okay, we're coming back. We're losing a day of training with the travel back from Stanford. How are we going to approach the rest of the week? That's where having a great staff comes in, where we can feel really prepared, like we're not one day behind once we get back from this trip, because we technically will be one day behind. We'll lose a day of training with this travel.
Peyton's been a versatile player for you. It seems like she can do almost anything. How has that impacted your team? What do you think she does best, so forth?
On any given day, I could give you a different answer on what she does best. So there was a time she was our best point scorer. I think she might lead us in kills right now, and she certainly has led us in kills multiple matches. First match of the year, Auburn, it was her first start. They served her every single ball, and nobody's served her since. I think she's one of our best passers. So the list goes on, and I think the nice thing about her game is that she's not always doing each skill at her best, but no matter what the game is giving her, she's doing something really well. So there's been matches where she's struggled offensively, and she's led us in digs. There's been matches where she leads us in kills, but maybe her serve wasn't going. So there's just multiple ways that she can contribute for us. Plus, she's very even-keeled, and she's just a very lovable kid. So I think that it's just a very good leader for our team. I love her vibe. I think the fans have kind of picked up on just kind of who she is as a player, and I think she's a really fun player to get behind.
You said you felt like you played well over the weekend. What was it that you thought you did best, or was there one or
Well,
two
after the
things?
lightning struck the our offense has been on fire, literally. So, I think Naelis Caballo the last 3 matches have probably been the best 3 matches of her career. And, I love making football analogies, but it's very similar to, it doesn't matter who you're playing. If the quarterback's not throwing balls that are catchable, it doesn't matter. And so for Nay, it's the same thing with setting. You're in complete control of your side, and I think she's setting the ball as well as she's set in the last 3 matches. So that doesn't matter who your opponent is. You're in complete control of that on your side. And I think for her, the exciting thing for us and for our team is that she's one of the best setters in the country for sure right now, and I think she also has the most potential of any setter in the country. So that combination is really cool at this part of the season where we're just starting ACC play, and there's so much time for improvement, and I think we're going to continue to see that from Nay.
You've got another outstanding player in Kara. You talk about her blocking, and she's been fabulous for you this year.
Yeah, so Kara Cressy's a 5th-year senior for us, and I've told this story before, but her first year, 2021, we went undefeated, and she redshirted. And so when we made the Final Four, we stormed the court, and she's in street clothes. She wasn't even able to dress for that game. So she's gone from redshirting, really kind of investing in herself and her development, to now she's the 5th year who is kind of paving the way for these younger players. And I think the biggest growth you talk about with her blocking is she's just such a calm presence at the net. And I think the jump from high school to college, the game seems really fast. And for Kara, I think her first few years, you could see that the game felt fast. She was kind of making extra movements and kind of reacting to things that weren't really happening. And now, she makes it look like it's slow motion for her. And I've said this multiple times this year, but she feels like we have a pro playing amongst college players. And she very well could be a pro. She probably would have been a first-round draft pick last year, chose to come back for her 5th year, and I think it shows in just her presence. What I love about that is, Addison McCoon is a freshman middle for us. She played the 3rd set against Syracuse, and she gets to learn from Kara. I always think for programs that continue to develop, you have to have the younger players watching these great older players, and then they start to mimic what they see. And so I'm almost more excited about the fact that Addison McCoon gets an entire season with Kara Cressy and learning from her, because I think 3-4 years from now we're going to be talking about Addison McCoon as one of the best blockers in the country, and doing all the things Kara's doing now.
Can you give us just a quick thumbnail of both Cal and Stan?
Yeah, so Cal, Cal, I think they're doing, if I heard this right, I think it's our match, they're doing a ceremony to commemorate Carly Lloyd. Carly Lloyd led them to, I think, a national championship or a national runner-up in 2008. And the only reason I know that is I was a student manager with the team with Nebraska at the time that Cal beat to get to the Final Four that year. It was a huge upset. And she was pretty much the reason that they won that. So I think they're commemorating her. So that Cal program has had huge success in the past. They've been to the national championship. Correct me if I'm wrong if they won that match. It was a long time ago. And then she played for the national team and did all that. Well, they're going to have a big ceremony for her. Very similar. We've had similar road matches where, Creighton, they opened up their new Terraflex floor, and a lot of times when Louisville comes to town, I think they try and pack the place, which we love. It's really fun. So that'll be cool to see that. And, the Cal program is kind of on the rise. I think they've got, similar to us, they've got a few preseason matches they wish they would have gotten, but they're, they got tournament hopes, and this is a huge match for them. On our side, we'll talk about, that's a massive trap match for us. I think it's very natural for our team to think about the Stanford match and, national TV and all those different things. We played them in the Elite Eight. Cal is going to be really, really good. They've got an outside who's fantastic. It's going to be, for the coaches, we'll stress more about that match than we will Stanford this week. I can tell you that. And then they're led by a great coach who played at Iowa State. She was the all-time, I think, attack percentage leader for them, and Jen Malcolm. And then Stanford, obviously a storied program. Their reputation kind of precedes them. We played them in the Elite Eight. It's funny, we played them, I think, within 10 days, maybe 2 weeks of each other last year. Last match of the season, we lost to them in 4 at their place. We played them in the Elite Eight and got to go to the Final Four and beat them in 4. So there's kind of this brewing rivalry between us, but one of the classiest and best coaching staffs. I have a ton of respect for what they do at Stanford. And another great player that's head coaching for them, so Kevin Hambley, I think, is the all-time blocks leader at BYU. So between Jen and Kevin, you got 2 great players. My only claim to fame is I led the country in getting aced my freshman year at Ohio State. So I don't quite have the pedigree that those coaches do as players. Luckily, yeah. Luckily, I don't have to pass. So, but I think they both might be taller than me, which is pretty rare. So, yeah, it'll be a fun weekend. So, 5 o'clock on Saturday. I looked at the NFL football schedule. So Lamar's, day to day with the hamstring. He might not even play at 1. So cards are covered there. We play at 5, and then the Chiefs and Ashton Gilletti, they play at the night game. So you get to watch us at 5 on ESPN, and then you get to watch the Chiefs at night. So you get a card Sunday. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Go Cards.